It's finally happening. Transplant day. So, as you guys know, I have this awful mess of diatomaceous earth all over the place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transplant each. I'll show you how I get the holes done, and I'll show you the roots on every plant that goes into one of these 3 gallons. The ones that don't are going to be mostly these males that I have pushed behind my selected males, which are, you know, those 3. And then I got some mutation males that are phenotypical, and I've got a matching female for each of those. Those are also going to get 3 gallon. And then, you know, if there's any phenos that smell really not my thing, or they've done really poorly, they won't make it if I don't have space. So I'm going to show you how I get the holes. I've got this you know, hole digger for the drill, and you see right here I've got it kind of ground down a little bit. I just used a chainsaw file, but you can use any old file to do that. And the reason I do that is that's the depth I want for the cups. And if you just use a marker or something on a tie, it's going to move or wear out. Whereas that, even if it gets all rusty, it's going to be easy to see, easily seen when it's spinning. So here you go. We'll just start with one of them 3 males. So, oh, mode 1, silly. And you can see the shiny thing. And what that does is it stops me from ripping holes in the bottom of the bags. There. So it's just going to be a hole like that. And then I got the Princess Ada special cheap old pump. I've got some aloe vera mixed into the water, blended up real fine, and then filtered so that it can actually, you know, pump through. And what I'm going to do, so I'm just going to spray the hole a little bit and put the plant in. So I'll show you that. Princess Auto is Canadian Hobo Freight. So here's number 28. You see pungent fruit on there. It's a male. Here's the roots, and yeah, this soil really dry. You can see some new growth on the roots there. You can see some old growth roots here. More new. And you can see we're not overly root bound. When they dry out for multiple days at a time, what happens is senescence in the roots. The plant takes the moisture out of the roots up into the plant itself to stay alive. The older, larger roots will stay functioning as drinkers, and then it'll push new roots out as feeder roots. This is a natural occurrence in the wild. This happens with pretty much every plant that ever existed. So it's nothing scary or all that serious. And in doing so, as you can see, there's no real spiraling in the roots, at least on this number 28. So like I said, spray the hole, and then drop the plant in, give it a little push, right? And that's it. That's the hole. That's everything that I'm doing today. And then I'm going to put this in the hallway. Every plant that I do, I'm going to put in the hallway, and this is the cup it was in, so there's its identifier. There's its tag anyway. So that's going to go in the hallway, and then I'll show you the roots on each one, but I won't show you the planting process each time because it's going to be the exact same. So here we go. Okay, so here's level number 75. This soil is like it's going to be high. It's not great. It's very, very dry. This is my backup male in case my selected male fails to be stable enough. You know, moth guy growing in there. We've got some new root growth. Not a whole lot because it's kind of dry, but you can see the starts of a spiral. And here, but they don't really spiral all the way around. and there's plenty of new growth coming in. So what I'll do with this one is I'm just going to pull the edges a little bit, you know, just so that it doesn't try and continue spiraling. So there you go, that's number 75. Okay, and here's 47. You see what that says? Fruit punch. It's a male. And again, very extremely dry soil, but still pushing some new growth. And again, we got a little bit of spiraling starting here, but here, I'll show you. This is what I do when it does that. Right? It's not complicated. It's not surgery. You know, the plant pushes out new roots every day. There, not spiraling no more. And all those ones down the side are going straight, so they're fine. So yeah, it's between 47 and 28 are my actual select males. That 75 is the backup in case these both, like neither of them end up being stable enough or hearty enough for me. The rest of that back tray is all just trash in my mind because, well, I have 3 that are better than all of them. So that's why I selected, like, all of these the 3 males I picked have been the most stable and the best smelling the entire extreme difficulty grow that I've been putting these plants through. Those males have all shown signs of instability, or, you know, weakness to this or weakness to that. So I'm just, you know, I'm not gonna pick any of those. Okay, so now we're gonna go with the non-typical expression pairs, or the mutations. We got number 51 here, which has the 2 tops on it. This is the male. I haven't got a real good smell off of any of these yet, so someday I'll get it. But yeah, so here's the male, number 51. And here's what I've selected as its female, number 42. It got, after it was all grown, it ended up getting hit with the fan. So yeah, but anyway, that's that pair. Almost forgot to show you the roots. Here's the male. Okay. You know, I don't know why it's got a lot of crisscrossing going on, but very little spiraling. Again, I'm just gonna pick the spiraling out. So there you go. There's the male, here's the female. Much straighter structure. Loving that look. Very minimal spiraling. Lots of turning around though. So we'll do a little pick at that. Like a lighter pick. There you go. Alright, so next is going to be 43 and 84. That's these 2. Okay, I got back up. Alright, so we'll show you 84. You know, the tops came off these, remember, because of the fan falling on them. There's no real sex to see right now on them because all that growth has come in under full light. I believe 43 was the male, but if they're both female, then that's fine too. I'll show you the roots. 43 we'll start with because it's the dry one. Oh, I like that. That looks good. Ready to go. Lots of spiraling though. That part I don't like. It's going to need a heavy plucking, we'll call it. So I'll get that done. We're just going to rip some of these off. Sorry, 43, but you need it. So there's that. And then 84, which there's definitely some new growth, but not a lot. That's just some diatomaceous earth that's run down in. Oh yeah, there's lots of little new growth in this one, but it must have got a little bit more dried back for an extra day or so. We're gonna just, same thing, any potential spiraling I see I'm gonna pluck out. Anyway, that's the mutated pear with the fused branches down here, and I want to chase that and see what it does, you know, in seed when I cross the two of them. Does it do it to each branch? Because that could be really good for you know, knuckles. Like they see all the guys doing knuckles. Well, this one came up with its own knuckle. Now here's a Pheno that didn't want to show sex for the longest time, and I had it in the background. I wanted to chase it because look at the structure of that. Now, and then look at this one. Like, no atypical dominance really. Like, still has some, but you know, that'd be great. However, sadly, they're both male, so that's not something I'm going to be chasing. Meaning those don't get put into the 3 gallons, they just get tossed with the other males. Over there. And that whole tray is going. So I guess next I'll do the blue Zushis. Well, I guess it's blue Zushi X papaya. Some real sad looking plants for sure. But they shouldn't be too bad moving forward. There's number 3. It was the one that needed the feed earlier on. Okay. So that's an older root, that one. Nice and thick. Well, compared to the rest. Look at all that new growth there coming in. And look at all that. We'll just beat that up a little bit. Pow, pow, pow. Okay, so there's that one. Get the tag back in it. And then there's this one. This is the first one that popped up. It hasn't needed the feed. It got the feed with everything else, not early like this one. Very similar on the root structure, you know. Quite happy with that. Still gonna have to lift some of these up. So, you know. Transplant shock? Maybe. And this is the number 2. It's quite a bit drier than those two. That tray got less water basically. There we go. You know, running out of space down there for sure. Lots of room for feeders to come up high though. So that's nice. I am gonna break this up. Well, we got a big root in here. There. Release the tap. This one's gonna need multiple fingers to work out. There. So I'll try and make sure that goes more that way than under the plant. The rest of these aren't that bad. There. No, it didn't break, it just bent. And then this one, it's one of the ones I'm gonna be breeding with. Why did I pick this one? Well, because it's not shaped like any of the others. These 3 are all very similar in shape and like structure. And then there's this one, which is just not the same. So take a look at those roots and look at the roots, totally different. Like totally different root structures. This one spiraled for sure. So we'll get to plucking that out. Okay, so that's that. Alright, so there's the Zushis. Right now, if I had to pick, you know, which Zushi to actually cross this one to, I mean, it's kind of a toss-up between this one and this one because this one has really good structure. This one's been more stable the entire time, though, so it's kind of a toss-up between those two. Not this one. This one needed to feed early, so, and has looked rough, the roughest, the longest. So that one I'll probably just send this one to flower, not bother cloning it or nothing. And whichever of these two that I don't end up picking, maybe I'll give them a smell. I'll give them a squeeze on the stem and some smells, and I'll pick that way. This one does have the better, you know, branching structure. Some old growth, some new growth. Same thing here, some old growth, some new growth. So there's the Zushis. Just a sec, I'll show you. I might be able to pick right now, just a sec. Well, they both smell the exact same on the stem rub. I'm gonna have to go with stability over structure though. So these two, the number 4 and the number 2 are the ones I'm gonna be chasing the lineage on. I'm gonna do a cross on those two. These ones I'll just send to flower somehow. I'll figure something out, don't worry about it. In the 3 gallon. So there's a selection done for those. Next we'll do the papaya, the Platinum Turple X Papaya. Alrighty, so I'm going to take a little break, and then I'm going to get these ones planted, but I'll do the selection and the showing of the roots before I take my break. The reason I'm taking a break, I got injured in 2023. And I gotta walk with a crutch, at least the one forearm crutch, and I can't make it very far. And so, you know, between the pain and the mobility issues, I'm gonna take a break. I'll get this video out sometime today, probably tonight at this pace, but I'll get it out. It might be midnight, but I'll get it out. We're gonna look at these Platinum Turples. See, this one says mustache. This one's disqualified immediately, so it's going to go to the flower in the 3 gallon. And then between these 3, I have to pick 2, like, you know, to breed and to keep as mothers. I'm leaning towards these 2 because they're taller, you know, which means they've done a little bit better, I think, maybe. I'll show you the roots, and then I'll do the smell, and then I'll tell you is what I selected. So we got, this is number 5 that came up. And yeah, there's only 4 because, well, one of them died, didn't really grow. Ooh, those roots look good. Yeah, those roots look good, actually, despite everything. So, yeah. We are going to have to, you know, break this up. Unfortunately, all that new growth can grow again. Keep that in mind when you're planting your plants. So there's number 5. Number 4. Very different story here. We got mostly old roots with a little bit of new roots coming in. Very root bound here down the bottom, despite the big holes, you know. So we're just gonna lift that mat a little bit off the bottom here, and that'll allow the plant to grow. You guys see something in these roots that I don't? Let me know in the comments. Well, there's a piece. A little haircut for it, right? Yeah, there we go. There's number 4. What's this one? Number 3. So I think it's number 2 that passed away. Like, it didn't really grow. It spread it up, but didn't grow. There we go. Some new growth there. That's definitely some happy new growth. A little bit of spiraling. Loving it. Based on roots, I would go these 2, you know. Just a little less likely to spiral. and they're both pushing a good amount of new roots already. So I'm gonna go with this. I'll get the smell test done, and we'll do it. Well, I could have just gone with my gut, I guess, on that one. These two are the best. That's number 5 and number 3. So there you go. These two over here, I'm just gonna put the 3 gallons to flower. These ones are gonna stay in the 3 gallons for, I don't know, as long as I need them to. Okay, so next, after my break, we'll come back and we'll check the Slurmankus. Okay, so here's the Slurmankus, and I've kind of been hiding this from you guys, but this one's actually mutated in structure, and this is late build structure, so in flower it's very, I would say that's branch prone, which nice, because that means the canopy can be a lot flatter in flower. And then there's this one, which has, you know, the least atypical dominance. It's got a very good, you know, structure-wise, it's going to branch very well. These two don't really have a whole lot in the way of branches. Not going to branch very well. And neither of them are actually mutated, so I'm going to go with these two. And these ones are just going to go right to flower in the 3 gallons. Roots. Yeah, there's roots there. You know, a lot more of the same. They go down, but they don't run around because I've got the 3 big holes cut into the bottoms. You know, they're all different, but 3 big holes into the bottoms. That seems to be, because these are 9 weeks. Tomorrow they would have been 9 weeks in these cups. So I don't know. They're not all that root bound at all, because there's enough air, and I've done enough drybacks that senescence happens in the roots, which is just like air pruning on the roots. That they're decent. They're not free and clear, but you could definitely get 4 weeks in these cups with the 3 big holes comfortably. I wouldn't want to push it more than 6 weeks if you're doing stress test early. Maybe 8 if you really want to see what they're like when they're root bound. But yeah, I don't recommend 9 weeks. So there's the 2 I'm going to grow. They both looked great. There's the others. This one's kind of the smallest. It's the runt. Yeah, it's got new roots coming in, so you know, whatever. Again, very much not actually all that root bound, but they're 9 weeks in here. So, oh, there we go. That one's root bound. Look at that. Yes, sir. Very. Yeah. Not up here, but down here. Feels like a kitchen sponge. So we're gonna beat that up a little bit. Transplant shock? Nah, never. So these 2 are flowering. They're gonna be labeled the whole time. Well, I'm just gonna put them outside and see what happens anyway in the 3 gallons. Same thing with any other extras. And then these 2 are staying inside. Okay. That's okay. Now next is just going to be the rest of my females, so we'll go through them. All right, so as we go through mine, we're just going to do one at a time. But first I got something to show you, and it means that I can use one of those 2 males actually, and it's something pretty exciting. I'm going to double check before I show you. Okay, so yeah, it's still there. Still smells like that, but it's not the watermelon Jolly Rancher that the last watermelon Pheno I got was, but it's still there, still watermelon, just like a slice of watermelon, not a watermelon candy. So that I'm very excited. I forgot this existed. I've been hiding it from everyone, even myself. You see, I showed it when it first mutated. It had this mutation here. but then I hid it from myself and everyone else because, well, that showed up. So I'm going to pick one of these males to go with it. The claw. Okay, the claw of the law has done its job. Let's look at these. Versus, much better. Yeah, okay, so it's got nice roots. This one's got, like, Pizzly, not great roots. This one's very dry and has better roots than the other one, so I'll go with this one. Maybe. Let's see. Growth-wise, which one matches better? This is one of the ones that was in front of the fan, so I think this one matches the shape better as well. So we'll go with this one. It's got the better roots, it matches the shape of the leaves better, which is a sign that it will change the pheno less, and hopefully it'll lock in that watermelon. But if that continues through as it normally does with my strain, this is in store for some wild goodness. So yeah, these two I'll keep. This one's trash. What's next? This one. Ooh. That's got some good roots in it. See, very almost organized lines. Very root bound. The holes might not have been, I don't know, they're pretty big. I don't know. No, this one's very closed off. Okay. So you see, they got to be holes like 3 of them, I think is what it is. Maybe. Or maybe just this one's got real good roots on it. You know the drill. Open them up whilst it's up. Give it a smell. And when I say smell, it's a stem rub. And if I don't get much off the stem, I will pinch these little calyx side tops and see what I can get. You know, stem rub like that, and then don't like that one. Kind of like dry clay. Dry clay with, you know, freeze-dried berries mixed into it. It's odd. I'm not interested in that. Seems pretty reggy to me. And yes, I'm gonna try and make a selection for the regular line as well. If I can't, if they all smell too similar, or they all are too similar, then we'll have to do the flower before I make any sort of further decision on my genetic. And that might be what it is, other than the mutations and the highly unique phenos. I might have to, for the standard, do a micro flower run before I make any real decision, because this could change into, like, you know, rockets for all I know. Like it could taste or smell like candied rockets, or I don't know what sweet tarts. I don't know. It could. Okay, so I guess I should have taken a longer break the first time there, but we're back now. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. I wanted to. That's what I had left off on. Look how root bound that is. I hadn't showed you guys yet this one, but yeah, look at how root bound. So this one's gonna need some work. The top's not too bad. There's still new roots coming in, but might just cut this flat because it's bad. It's that bad. I'll show you once what I mean. Basically, I used the knife to cut the little ridge out. You can see on the bottom of the cup how it has that indentation. I just basically cut this part off the bottom, that part of the roots, you know, off of the bottom, and then pulled down whatever was, you know, actually coming out of the middle. So there you go. That's about all I'll do to that. and it'll be just fine. Next, this is 35. You know, not a whole lot of growth on that one, huh? These roots, nothing rotten, so you can see where the roots are going. You know, there's no runarounds, but they're fixed. Okay, there's 20. Instead of I gotta show you all of them. I gotta show you all of them. You know? Yeah, okay. So you see the smaller holes, even though that's got a little extra, the smaller holes, just let them bind. The big holes, you gotta put the 3 big old holes in it. I don't have one right on me here, but yeah, 3 big holes in the bottom is ideal for stopping root binding. I might have to trim this one as well. It's pretty bad. Alright, there you go. Okay, so number 5 has more of the, these are 3 kind of medium holes. And you see, there's that root binding tendency, right? So this is another one that I'll probably cut the bottom, you know. That's a good healthy look. And root. Not a whole lot of new going on right here, but she's pretty bound up, so I'm just gonna cut the bottom off. This one I did a little extra too, just kind of, you know, loosened it up a bit. There. So that's number 5. Okay, so this one's kind of fuely, or maybe fumy, I don't know. 33. Again, see kind of 1 big hole, 2 medium holes. Root bound. So you need 3 big holes in the bottom, and you need to let them dry back for sure, all the way back, and they'll get set. But if you're going to keep them in the solo cups, you don't want, that's only if you're going to keep them in the solo cups, really. But you don't want this root binding to happen, because, you know, it's just effort that you don't really want to put. I'm just doing this right now, getting a little squeeze. This one's not so bad that I feel the need to cut it. So, there. See? Not that bad. That's 33. Now, if my criteria was pure stability, this would be the female select. But it's not, so it's just definitely got some points towards it. Haven't really got a smell off this one yet, but some of them don't put any on until the very end, and some of the ones that put real good stuff on at the very beginning don't have nothing by the end. So that's why you got to kind of run it all the way to the end when you're doing a pheno hunt before you make your final selection. That's the final selection, not your who gets to that point. Look at that. That's quite the root. Yes, sir. I'm not going to cut that off. We're just going to try and open it up. Ah. Yeah, it might be just a little tap rooty there. That'd be nice. It'd be great if I had 4 of them sticking out, but 1. And then the rest isn't really all that run around. It was all just that 1. Maybe a little bit on this side. Yeah, see a little bit. There. So this is nice and pliable though. Bend it right up. See it doesn't kink. I'm just going to plop that in like that. That was 33, I think? No, 45. That's 45. Now here's one that's probably not moving forward, but I'm going to smell it and make sure this hasn't changed into something different. Okay, so it definitely changed, and it's like tropical fruit, like real acidic, real sweet smelling. So yeah, I erased that because it's no longer true. The ones that I had pulled aside, they still smelled like cat litter, so they're gone. Um, but yeah, next. We got number 26. I haven't written a lavender, but I wasn't sure because I wrote it small. Yeah, I'm still getting that as lavendery, so that's kind of cool. Hasn't really changed that much, so that's definitely a little bit stronger. But these are all just stem rubs for now, you know, so it's like an idea. So that was number 26. Number 32 had a good bounce back from everything each time. Root bound, small holes. Yep. So 3 big holes, keep that in mind. Yeah, this one's going to need to be cut. Just the worst of it. That's number 32. Smelt a bit minty, actually, like spearmint or maybe winter mint. Okay, so next tray, we got number 83 out here. Okay, let's see. A little hair or something down there. There, wipe that off. There. Okay, definitely a little bit of root binding going on. 1 big hole, 1 medium and 1 kind of small. No real, well, we got some new root growth starting up here, so it's starting to come around. Nothing rotted, nothing dead in the roots, so this one's, you know, light enough that a little scribbles cleans that up. Smell. So far, nothing. This one bounced back from a lot of things, but then it kind of started to slip because it had very aggressive roots at first, and it very quickly got root bound. It is still, if I can find one, I had just seen some new roots pushing through. Oh, we got some nematode action. Don't think it's going to get on camera, but no. Oh, there, it just moved. Might be nematodes, I don't know. Little wormy dudes. These are some sort of new roots right here. They're white, but we're gonna open this one up. We're gonna give it some squeezins because this one had some real aggressive roots. I can feel them in there. They're very bound up on the inside. There, that's better. Look. Like, this ain't no soil puck. Anyway. So there's roots. Fixed. Smell. Reggie. Next is 79. The roots look good actually on this one. Not bound up, not spirally. A little bit, you know, curling it towards the middle. But, like, just knock that off like that. That's basically it. 1 big, 2 mediums, or is that a small, that one? I don't know. I'm convinced that it's between the phenos and the fact that a lot of these cups, I should have set up a jig to make these cups more regular, but smell. Nothing on that yet. That's 79. 72 was bouncing back pretty good. Let's see. Yeah. 6 roots. very bound. But not a whole lot of spiraling. Especially for how long these have all been in. Let's take a close look. See if we can find anything good or bad, really. Nothing. Nothing for something for nothing. That's 72. Smell? Nothing. Next tray. Starting with 85. A little bit of new growth. Mostly old growth. I love the evenness on this one. Don't love how undercut it is, but it's just undercut. There's nothing ripping and tearing when I squeeze, which means it's not all bound proper like the other ones were. So just a little brush off of this end piece. You know, get everything where it's supposed to be, back over to its respective sides. Done. Smell. Again, nothing. So for the ones that do already smell, I'm going to keep my eyes on them. That's why I write things on the cups. Next we got the mutant that showed first. 36. Oh, I haven't smelt it for quite a minute. Here. It came up with the double leaf in the middle and then the two separate tops. They kind of have different structures. Both tops do look female, but you can see they have different structures. So, yeah. Maybe you can see. Alright, smell. So it's got like a stanky dank layer on top of the fruit punch, but it's still there. So that one's cool. Alright, 63. It's got a smell, but it's too mild to make out right at the moment. Roots on 63 that don't look terrible, but yeah, that's what I was thinking. She's heavy. A little new growth. Definitely popping some things. And I squeeze on this one, but it's the you know, it's this rollover I hate seeing. But 9 weeks in a cup, you're gonna see it. So, gotta get over it. Okay, there we go. That one's ready to go. And like I said, one at a time, and then I'm gonna, you know, do that because I can do this part sitting down, and the up and down is the hardest thing. Very root bound. What number is this? Number 1. It's the first of the bunch that was up. Okay, which actually means something sometimes. Very root bound, as I showed you already, quickly, but not so bad that you can't fix this one. It looked bad, but they didn't go very far. Nope, this one did. See, it's got some pressure on it. Alright, boom. Fix that one, fix this one. But you see, they bundle, right? They bundle, they send root after root down the same line because there's just no space. Squeeze this one, not feeling a whole lot of pops on the inside, which means it's not actually all that bound. It's just a lot of roots. It's just, and when you don't feel them snapping and popping from the inside when you squeeze like that, it means that they're not overlapping as much. They're not crisscrossed and tied together. They're all well organized and not necessarily going to choke themselves out. Anyway, that's number 1. Smell. So it kind of smells like this, but instead of wild berry, it's like hulls. Just like that. Alright, so that's that one. We already did the roots on it. Number 1. Alright, so here's 24. We'll start with smell. It's tropical fruity, but very earthy as well. So, yeah, there you go. It's 24. Next. Okay. Okay, so this is probably like a F1, but I labeled it as peanut butter. It doesn't have a number, so we'll go smell first. Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe like PB&J, but definitely, but maybe PB&J. So it's gonna be hard to select, I think. Final tray. Here's 30 cat litter, rose rust resistant plant, but we'll see if it's actually cat litter. Cat litter smell went away, but it's still not, it's not like a happy, pleasant smell. Yeah, no, it's kind of reggy compared to some of the other ones I found. So I'm going to remove this, but that's all I'm going to do as far as writing things down with it. Roots. Definitely got some new growth. That's that white stuff. Those white lines going, but meh. Not a whole lot. Okay, next. 7. Roots look like that. Can be probably dug around a little bit there. That'll do. No real binding inside. Maybe a little bit minty. Not getting a whole lot off this one. That's number 7. Okay, this is number 55. Nothing written on the cup. Looking okay. Still, of course, root bound, but not really. Maybe a little bit crisscrossed on the inside there. So there, that's fixed. 41. Oh, that looks actually pretty good. Nothing snapping on the inside. Not super spun, just a little bit right there, and right there, and right there. You know, we'll get them fixed there. That's good enough. 7. Oof. Bound all up in there. Okay. There. And I'll tell you if there's anything that's smell worthy. Well, I have that written down already. F1 likely because it's not numbered. Smells mid. Let's look at the. It does have that, but it's just I'm not interested in chasing this one. It looks okay. Not really all that bound, but not interested in chasing that one specifically. I have plenty of, structure shifts to chase already. There's that root boundness. That's it. That was it. Yep, that was it. Yep. We got some new growth coming in. What number? 80. Smells well. Smells old school. Another unnumbered. Roots and smell. We'll check. Yeah. I mean, as expected, but I just like how organized a lot of these root balls are. They're not really bound up. They're all just shooting down. Like to see that. This is one of the ones that didn't need no feeds until the very end. Number is 29. Not really getting much of a smell off it. Here's the roots. Meh. 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 Okay, we got another F1 here, not numbered. Looking okay. Pretty root bound for being one of them. Well, I guess not really. Just a little bit on the bottom. Smell? Better than average, but nothing to write home about. Alright, so now I gotta get them all planted. I'll show you when I'm done. And all of those are garbage. trash. They're all just males I can't do nothing with. I have my males picked out already. I'll pick the females from what I got. I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, that's the last one, and I'm going to show you why I used 3 gallon. Not only does it save 2 gallons per plant, but you know, they're carryable. You know. And then I got these, which are the ones that don't move forward in the program of Not My Genetics. These are the genetics I picked up from the government cannabis store. So they're just going to be outside growing whatever the season grows for them. Okay, so I got the pomegranates out. I got the fans all cleaned. All the big ones have been moved to blow the air, you know, that way. I got everything up potted. It's now been 11 hours working at this. So I got to sweep, mop, show you guys, sweep, mop, put the plants in, show you guys. Okay, thanks, bye. Well, there's the sweep number 1. Here's what we got. Just one dustpan sort of full. Okay, well, if I'm being honest, a really good sweep and then a really as good of a mop as I could do. It's probably 3 mops that I did all at once. But that's gonna have to do. It's definitely far from perfect. But you know, far better than it was. So that'll be good enough. Now I gotta get everything back in where I want it to go. Okay, so it's done. We got the chair put back in. No plant here, you know, that can grow into the chair and get damaged that way. I put it over there. But yeah, they all fit. This is gonna be the new angle, I guess the channel gets. I put the lights all 5 to 5.5 feet up. So, you know, they have plenty of room now. Oh, I'm gonna water them. We'll see if I can't water them from my chair. And then I'll start uploading this video. It's probably gonna take a few hours. You know, those of you that watch all the way to the end will get that. But yeah, here we go. Water away. I'm gonna get this untangled. Well, sort of just, I guess. Not very well, but I'll get it done. Well, we're all watered in now. They did sit 13 hours technically. Well, I guess they probably sat 8 to 10 hours in the soil before getting watered in. But we'll see tomorrow if we've got transplant shock amongst them. I'm not worried about it. I don't think it's gonna. I think that they're gonna be happy by tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But it is now almost midnight. So I need to go get this uploaded. Thank you for your patience, y'all. I'll see you Monday. Okay, thanks, bye.